It now gives me great pleasure to introduce our keynote speaker, Tom Lynch, Chairman and Chief Executive Officer of TE Connectivity. Mr. Lynch has served as the company's Chief Executive Officer since January 2006 and was elected Chairman of the Board in January 2013. From September 2004 to January 2006, Mr. Lynch was at Tyco International as the President of Tyco Engineering Products and Services, a global manufacturer of industrial valves and controls. He was promoted to Chief Executive Officer of Tyco Electronics, now known as TE Connectivity, in January 2006. Prior to his appointment as Chairman and Chief Executive Officer of TE Connectivity, he worked as Executive Vice President of Motorola and Chief Executive Officer of Motorola's personal communications sector. And prior to Motorola, Mr. Lynch was Senior Vice President and General Manager of the Satellite and Broadcast Network Systems segment for General Instrumentation Corporation. He has also worked as Senior Vice President and General Manager for the General Instrument Corporation and the Transmission Systems business. Currently, Mr. Lynch is also an elected officer serving as Vice Chair of the U.S.-China Business Council, the leading organization of U.S. companies engaged in business with the People's Republic of China. He is a member of Rider University's Board of Trustees, a member of the President's National Security Telecommunications Advisory Committee, also a member of the Board of Directors for Thermo Fisher Scientific Incorporated, and is the chairman of Cornwall-Egan Catholic High School Advisory Council. We are very privileged to have Tom Lynch with us today. Please join me in welcoming him as our keynote speaker.
Thank you, Dr. Kulkarni. That introduction was longer than my speech, so I always say, please don't go with the long introduction. It's a real honor to be here. In my career, I've had the opportunity to meet a few presidents and heads of states and go many places, but I would say this tops all the honors that I've had. So thank you for this opportunity. And I'll only cover a couple things with you because I know you have exciting things on your mind and exciting things to do. 39 years ago, I was in your shoes in Rider in Lawrenceville, New Jersey. It was an unusual graduation in some ways because the day before I got married. And as time was leading up to that graduation, I thought, well, I'm not really going to go to the graduation. I mean, I'm getting married on Saturday. We went to Disney World on our honeymoon. But my mother realized that I had alternative plans and said, no, you're the first child in the family to graduate, and you're the first grandchild on either side to graduate, so you're showing up. I think you'll be glad you showed up, and I'm sure your family and friends are thrilled that you showed up because especially you have the moment of euphoria today, and as time goes on, this means more and more. This is an incredible accomplishment. Our company and Penn State Harrisburg have a really very special relationship. The heart of our company is right down the road in Harrisburg, started in the 1940s. And since that time, thousands of Penn State Harrisburg grads have come to our company. And today, we actually have 400 Penn State grads who are in our company throughout the world, many of them in Harrisburg. And as you know, going to this school, you develop certain characteristics, and we found them to be very, very effective coming into a business the heart and soul that comes with a Penn State grad. So I have a feeling many of you will end up in our hallways sooner or later. I've seen a lot of change since I graduated in 1975 from Rider. When I started, there wasn't an internet, at least not that we knew of. I guess the government had an internet, but none of us did. There wasn't social media for sure, so we weren't connected 24/7. I do miss those days a bit. And China wasn't involved in the economy of the world, so to speak. Imagine that. They're the largest economy in the world today, total gross domestic product, and less than 40 years ago, they weren't really involved. Certainly involved in the political world, but not involved in the economic world. So change happens, as they say. You're seeing your share of that change, and in many ways, I think it's a very daunting and challenging time to come into the world from your academic period. But there's huge opportunities as well. The world's smaller, and that means the whole planet is your opportunity. And so the one piece of advice I have for you, and I really mean this, and I think in many ways I'm kind of living proof of it, no matter what your vocation is. It really doesn't matter if you want to go in business and be a CEO, or if you want to be a nurse or a social worker or a professor. One thing is the same from the time I started, and I see it today, and it's the one thing that matters, which is do a little bit more than is expected of you. If you take that attitude into the next phase of your journey, you'll be amazed at what that unlocks for you. It doesn't mean don't have hobbies. It doesn't mean work till midnight every night. It doesn't mean give up your weekends. It just means whatever role you go into, find a little more than the job description requires. It's so empowering. It's not only great for the people that you will be working for and with, and the customers or patients or clients you're serving, but it is very, very liberating for yourself. If you think about it, it's the one thing you can control. Economies, always changing. Competition, always changing. But you can control that, how much effort you put into something. It seems a little esoteric as I say it, I'm sure, but when you get past this fun week and you embark on the next step, I'd really encourage you to think about it. I'm living proof, really. When I was getting ready to go to college, I didn't really have a plan at all. I went to Rider because my best friend went there. I took up finance accounting because he did. I never told my wife this, but truth be told, I bought my wife's engagement ring at the same place he bought his wife's engagement ring. I'm sorry about that, Pat. I was lucky. He was a great influence. But early in my career, I had the great fortune to work for a few people who saw, hey, this kid, he has some potential. We should encourage him to spread his wings a little bit, do a little more than the job description says. And so out of that, I had the opportunity to work for people who consistently provided that opportunity, and then it became a trait that I would look for in the roles that I had, little things to do a little more, mainly for my own satisfaction. I wasn't just sitting there thinking, well, this is going to make the company better because I do this. That was sometimes a byproduct, but mainly because I felt better. It energized me. I thought, well, I'm learning something. And then this magic thing begins to happen. Your confidence grows. Real confidence, right? Not arrogant confidence. Not macho confidence. Real confidence. Confidence that comes with gradually learning more and accomplishing things. And that's like a constant flow of gas into the gas tank. So the confidence goes in, you realize you can do a little more, you think a little bit more, you take a little more risk. Yeah, you're going to slip sometimes, but the confidence keeps building. It's really a powerful thing. I'd encourage you. So even in 2004, when I joined a company then called Tyco, and In early 2006, the CEO of that company asked me to go out to dinner with him, and sounded good. And I had a big, responsible job. And at the end of that dinner, he said, hey, we're going to change the company and break it into 3 parts, and the board of directors would like you to become the CEO. I had had a glass of wine by then, so I thought, sometimes we hear what we want to hear. And keep talking, Ed. So it was a Friday night, as it turned out, and I went home that night to my wife, and I said, I'm not sure, but I think Ed offered me the CEO of Tyco Electronics. So that was a Friday. He told me to think about it over the weekend and come in on Monday and let him know whether I was going to take that. So I went back in on Monday and I said, did you offer that to me? He said, yes. I said, I'll take it. Well, that whole weekend, it's one of those, you sit there and go, wow. I remember that day in Lawrenceville, really wondering what was going to come next, having no idea, certainly in my wildest dreams, not thinking I would have that opportunity. And the point is that you have to become CEO to feel this way and be that way. The best part of it was the journey along the way, learning things, working with great people. When you get to a position that you're influencing people, they're working for you, or you're guiding them, keep this in mind, right? If you care about them and you give them that guidance and you think and you believe that everybody has more potential than they think. I think that's the key, than they think, right? People saw potential in me that I didn't realize I had, and I have no doubt that everybody has that, and it's deep in my core. I'll just share one quick story that this generation can really identify with. In the last couple years, Facebook has become a customer of ours. A new company, really a service company, right? Well, now they buy technical equipment, and we have the opportunity to support them. And 6 weeks ago, we have a big operation in Silicon Valley. So 6 weeks ago, I had my first opportunity to go on the Facebook campus. And if you've never been there, it's just like you're Ed. It's like Disney World. There's bike shops. You ride your bike to work and it breaks, somebody fixes it for you. There's a food court. There's all kind of athletics. They work really hard. And so we had a meeting with them, and even walking down the main concourse of the campus, everybody's like, there he is, behind the glass wall, Mark Zuckerberg, their founder. We came back and had our meeting, and I could tell they really liked us. So here's a 65-year-old company that makes things, and here's this new company, one of the big companies in the new economy. And I couldn't resist. I'm like, well, what is it about us? Why do you like us? Because at every step of the way, you're exceeding our expectations. We knew you had good products. We wouldn't have even talked to you if you didn't have good products. But what's really impressed us is you're anticipating our needs. You do a little extra. You get it there a little bit faster. It's your attitude. It's your attitude who really impressed us. So I think that was pretty exciting and energizing for us coming from a company like Facebook. So I'll just close by saying, as you go into the next phase, you really do have an advantage. You graduated from this institution. I mean it. We see it in our company every day. It's special. You're prepared. You're more prepared than you think. Take advantage of it. Do a little more. Do a little more than's asked of you. I mean it from the bottom of my heart. It really, really works. Take control of your destiny. Unleash your potential. Because the world needs you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Lynch, for sharing your thoughts with us today. As a token of our appreciation and in recognition of your contributions today, I present you with a memento of our university. On behalf of the entire Penn State Harrisburg community.
Now, it doesn't get any better than this. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.